Hello, good people, and welcome to the HeavenEarth Church Podcast. This is all about a church which has a vision to serve its community and make a lasting impact in the community. My name is Brad Miller. I help produce the HeavenEarth Church Podcast, and we love to talk to people who are part of the congregation and who have made a commitment to HeavenEarth Church and have something to share about their experiences. So today we're happy to have Steve Owens with us and Ashley Walden-Owens with us. Married couple, have been part of the church for quite a while. And just want to say hello and welcome, and just glad that you're here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
We're
you.
excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, let's start with you. What's hometown for you? Where do you come from?
I claim all of Johnson County as home. I graduated from Greenwood, but have lived all throughout Whiteland, Franklin, Center Grove, Greenwood area growing up. We have some farmland in Trafalgar. So
Okay.
Johnson County is home.
Johnson County is home.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Steve, how about you? What's hometown for you? Where are you from?
I grew up on the east side of Indy. Lived there my whole life until I met Ashley, and she convinced me to move down to Franklin when we had the boys. So I went to Cena High School on the east side. So was there for 30-ish years before made it down here to Franklin. So I like it.
Well, that's awesome. Last church I served was in the neighborhood where Cecina's at.
At Lourdes or Little Flower?
Well, I served Otterbein United Methodist Church,
okay.
but it's in that neighborhood, basically. Yeah, not too far from Cecina. I was just there yesterday. But well, awesome. Glad to have you with us. So, Steve, tell us what about you. Kind of, where'd you go to high school? Tell a little bit about the home you grew up in, and maybe something good about the home you grew up in.
Went to Cecina High School on the east side. I did 12 years of Catholic school between Holy Spirit and Cecina. Irvington and the whole east side of Indy is such a, like, everybody knows each other. Everybody, somebody that your brother went to high school with or something like that. It's just such a weirdly close-knit, even though everybody's spread out a little bit, but just a weirdly close-knit community. And miss it a little bit every now and then, but I do love Franklin a little bit more than my old stomping grounds.
There you go. Actually, tell us a little bit about the home you grew up in. Tell me something good or just something memorable about the home you grew up in.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to be raised in a big family. We bounced around home to home a little bit as my parents divorced and whatnot. But I was raised on a family farm in Trafalgar. My grandparents still own it to this day. We have 175 acres. So growing up with that land and just that experience, I might have lived in an apartment in Greenwood, but on the weekends was able to go experience that land and just have a real open view of the world, I feel like, standing on 175 acres. So that was really memorable.
That's awesome.
And the boys still get to see it.
Yeah, we still have it in the family. We lived there last summer for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Built a house. And so it's neat to get to raise your kids and be raised.
Oh, yeah, because you were building a house or something like that, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. Well, Steve, tell us what you, about in growing up, were you involved with church at all? Was that a part of your experience? You sound like you grew up in Catholic school for one thing.
Yes, I was an altar boy and went to church with my mom she always liked going to church on Saturday evening. We never really did church on Sunday. We always preferred Saturday evening. She liked having her Sundays to sit at home.
5:30 mass.
5 still goes. Yeah, and, doing that much Catholic school, when you don't necessarily choose it, and kind of looking back, sometimes it's a little different, how you look at it now versus how you looked at it then. I loved it, but I do love the atmosphere of HeavenEarth Church a lot.
So say a little bit more about that. About the differentiate of what you experienced there and what you experience now.
I guess kind of looking back, it didn't feel as much of a close-knit community as this church does. Holy Spirit's a pretty big It was a pretty big church and a ton of people. And kind of looking back, and even as I got a little older, like in my 20s, it just felt like there was much more just pressure to donate and just pressure to do things. And it didn't feel as much as like building community. It didn't feel as much as
I was raised Catholic as well.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's just transition a little bit there to your faith journey, growing up, that kind of thing.
yeah, I was going to say, I was raised Catholic as well. I went to Catholic school for a couple years. I have family that still works for the Archdiocese, but I also had an aunt who worked for the Methodist church. So I was really lucky on the weekends that half the time I was going to a Catholic church, half the time I was going to Methodist. Sometimes I was going to a Baptist if I was with a different aunt. But growing up in the Catholic Church, it was definitely something different. I would never want to disparage it, but being in HeavenEarth community, you just feel so much more of a communal sense here, a family sense. I felt like growing up in a Catholic church, it was more just about the ritualistic aspect of.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, it's just like the ritualistic aspect of you do this, then you do this, then you do this, and then you are this. Here, there's no having to achieve anything to fit in. That's the beauty of HeavenEarth Church. Meet people where they are. Like, that's what we do here. And I feel so honored to be able to say we now.
Yeah.
But growing up with that background in such a rigid structure, it's all about structure and ritualism.
It felt much more routine to just kind of.
Yeah.
It wasn't joy. Our children wake up with joy to come to church on Sundays. Growing up, because I didn't go to Catholic school all the time, I did CCD on the weekends, which is Sunday school for those of us that didn't go to Catholic church, or Catholic school. If you go to Catholic school, you got to skip CCD on the weekend, so you never did that, right? It was like going to school on Sunday, and it was like a hard lesson. It wasn't anything joyous as a child.
Yeah. Well, that certainly gives us a little context, and we'll go a little deeper into the HeavenEarth Church story for you two in just a minute. Just a little bit of background then about career stuff. What do you do in your career, Steve?
I work at Old Dominion, the trucking company. I've been there for 11 years now. Load trucks all day. I go in at 4 a.m, which is a little early, but I'm able to get off early, so that way it works out. Me and Ashley have a nice balance of her handling the mornings, and I can come home and handle afternoons with the kids and stuff. So it's a tough schedule, but it works right now for our.
So you mentioned with the kids and stuff. So you got some kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, two boys, Cooper and Griff, 9 and 4. Almost 5 in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever today's date is. They are wide open 24 hours a day, but we love them. They both are the best little brother and the best big brother, and they love each other and they love us, and they're just
awesome,
sweet little guys.
Well, actually, tell us what about your career, or what you are involved with.
I currently work for an excavation company. Some members of the church invited me to come work for them, Adam and Jill. And previous to that, I actually worked here at HeavenEarth. I was here for 3 years as the director of OJ, Operations, Hospitality, and Joy. I stumbled into that, through Christy Stone. And she, that's a whole nother story. But I've always spent time working in hospitality and public relations, no matter what I've done. Planning weddings on the side. I bartended for years. That's kind of my favorite thing. My lifetime profession, I would say, is a bartender. I've done it different times throughout my life, and I just love talking to people.
Yeah.
I love meeting people, experiencing their life with them. But yeah, it's neat. I've had a lot of different experiences.
Well, we'll go a little deeper on your time here on the staff here at HeavenEarth in just a minute here. But tell me first, I can't get if you didn't get all the joy about your kids. Tell me one cool thing about your kids.
Oh gosh. It's so cool to see many versions of what like your childhood was in you, and to be able to give them the grace and the joy and the experiences that like you longed for as a child. And the way that our children are, they are just so they're rotten. They're boys. They're rotten, but they are so pure and so kind. And we just try to cultivate that in them.
Yeah, that's
You know?
awesome. That's awesome.
They're great kids.
Well, let's transition to a little bit about your story here at HeavenEarth Church. Tell me, kind of how did HeavenEarth Church first get on your radar? How did you first become aware of anything that was happening at HeavenEarth? And either one of you.
I won't say that is
That's
all
me.
you.
So I've been friends for a long time with Christy Stone. At the time, she was Christy Looper, Mikey, Mandy Markham, who tunes in from Ohio. And I had known about this church, Joanna. I've known them since I was in college. I about said high school. I had followed Heaven Earth briefly online, but wasn't really too aware. I'd seen a couple online sermons. I knew who Ross was. Ross and I actually went to a Dave Matthews concert and with Mikey when I was young and didn't know him. And then I got to re-meet him when he interviewed me. And it was really neat. I was like, I think we went to a concert together a long time ago. We had. But how I found Heaven Earth Church to work here, it's such a unique story. It's kind of hard to even say because I don't know. It feels kind of wild to me to say, but Christy Stone was on the board here at Heaven Earth Church, and there was a meeting where they were praying for someone to come into the church and just make a difference. They wanted someone to be able to come in and kind of grab the horse by the reins. And Ross said, "Can we all just pray for a minute?" And everyone prayed. They had some silent time. At the end of the prayer, Ross jokingly said, "Does anyone have anything to say? Did God speak to anyone?" And I'm sure he said it like full of charm. And Christy said, "I heard my friend's name." She said, "I heard God speaking her name into my heart. Her name is Ashley Walden. And I think you need to call Ashley." And so Christy texted me that night and said, "Do you believe in God?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. I heard your name tonight when I was praying, and I think that you're supposed to come work for my church. Would you be interested in talking to our pastor, Ross? He's Joanna's brother." And I said, "Sure, why not?" At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I wasn't working. It was post-COVID.
Mhm.
I needed something for myself, but I just didn't know what. And the next day, Ross called me, and I'd say we talked for like an hour. And it was just, we instantly hit it off. I came in a couple days later and met with him and Evan and instantly fell into this church, fell in love with this community.
So your connection was really getting the job here.
Getting the job.
Yeah.
Once I was here, it was home.
Well, tell me a little bit about you. Are on the staff here for about 3 years or so. Tell me a little bit some of the what was a good thing about that? What were some of the highlights of that experience for you?
Oh, getting to know this community. Everyone here. Developing so many relationships and friendships. Developing a true sense of family, community, right?
And it helped us land a church finally, because we had tried a couple other churches that nothing necessarily wrong with them, but just
Wasn't for us.
Didn't really hit home for us. And we were both, I had been out of church for a while at that point, and we were kind of wanting to transition back and find something, especially for the boys. And then when we started coming here, it was like, all right, we're good. We got it. We found it.
It's just the interactions with everyone, and Ross, working with him as a pastor, he's such a great pastor, but being able to have the ability to work with him one-on-one for a couple years, I feel like it really developed a lot of self-confidence in myself. I was able to do a lot more self-actualization, digging deeper, finding my own purpose.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So I actually kind of described a bit of an aha moment, each getting the job and some of the good things there. So Steve, what was kind of, I call them aha moments, kind of that, hey, I could have had a V8 or whatever kind of thing, where you kind of say, okay, this clicks for me. Heaven Earth Church is not only a place where Ashley's employed, so there's maybe some sense of, obligation perhaps out of that, but a sense of, okay, this is for me.
Really getting to know Ross and the first couple sermons I heard from him, because, or conversations, I should say, being at the Catholic Church for so long, we talked about before, that everything is so routine, so structured, this. And the first few times we came here, where it literally just gets to be a conversation with Ross, where it's not just him sitting up there and, saying what he wants to say. It was really a conversation, and everything just hit so differently coming from him. And just really, the boys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It stopped feeling like an obligation that, all right, Sunday, gotta make sure we're awake on Sunday. We got to go to church, where it's looking forward to coming to church. And I don't know that it was necessarily an aha moment, but I kind of realized it, that it was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm actually looking forward to this. And I'm actually making sure that we don't have plans Sunday morning to be able to come do this every Sunday.
You once said to me, like, I really enjoy Ross because he's just a guy.
Yeah.
And we use that phrase a lot. He's just a guy.
Just a guy.
Whereas when how we were raised, clergy was
there was some
superior.
Separation. There was some
a feeling of, superiority.
Yeah.
And so he's just a guy. He's our friend. He's someone that we can call.
That calls you.
Someone that calls me to check in on me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about how kind of got you here, and you've been here for a few years now. And this you've touched on this a little bit, but what keeps you here? People enter into a relationship for certain reasons. They stay in it for other reasons. That could be a work relationship, a marriage, any number of things. But just go with you, Steve. What keeps you here?
All the people absolutely keep us here. That, everyone is so welcoming, and everyone is so friendly and outgoing and just so welcoming. The main thing that keeps me here is Ross. I've never had a relationship with, is he a clergy person? Is that the technical term?
He's a pastor.
He is.
Pastor.
Yeah.
I've never had a relationship like that where I can consider to have that relationship and I'll have him also be a friend. I've never had anything like that where we can talk baseball, we can talk whatever, and then I can also have the deep conversations with him, that this is on my mind, this has kind of been wrecking me, whatever, and he's there 100% of the time. Might take a day or two with his thousands of text messages he always seems to have, but no matter what, he shows up, he's there, he's the most reliable person I've ever met in my life. And having that confidence to be able to come in here and have a guy like that be there for you just keeps me coming back every week.
I feel like, sorry, Brad.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like he's like a microcosm of like the entire community, though, because like he leads by example. And so what he just said about Ross is so true, but like there's so many people in this church that we could instantly call.
Yeah.
And the exact same thing. They're there with like words of wisdom or just to laugh or whatnot. So.
Yeah.
And a did call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And I wanted to kind of ask you kind of about a nuance kind of a thing about what I was just asking Steve about. After about 3 years of being on the staff here, you transitioned out, and you came into the church because you got a job here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, when they leave a job for whatever reason, that's kind of it. They move on with life. Mm-hmm. But you specifically have chosen to stay connected to the church.
Yeah.
So with that kind of in a context, what keeps you here? I know you mentioned a couple of things with Steve here, but
the community, the people. I mean, just and the message and the community. I can't say enough about that. Walking in and seeing Angie at the front door and Mikey with the treats, Adam behind the AV desk.
Baked goods from Ron.
Like Emily getting ready and warming up. Like it's the family that is here. It is the people. And it is, as much as I love Ross, it could be someone different up there, on Sunday mornings. And I think that we would still, like the community would still be there for each other and be who we are. Like it's the place here. This just genuinely feels like home. Yeah. And it feels like a safe place to bring our kids. And,
yeah. Well, that's awesome to hear. Because, I think, I've realized many people when they transition a job, they just go different ways. And That's good. What's one of the things that's said about HeavenEarth Church? In fact, it's right there on the website and a couple other places. It says, if you feel like you don't fit in church, you'll fit in here.
Yeah.
All right. Is that a true thing? And what makes that a true thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
It just, I mean, like I said before, we had tried a couple churches, and I have been and when I was a kid at the same church for 20 plus years. And I felt like just speaking personally, I didn't fit in, or I felt like I didn't fit in at the couple of other churches we had tried. And then it was completely effortless when I walked in here. It was a combination of a couple people that I'd met before and a couple people that I already knew. And then all the new friendly faces that were completely welcoming. So, I mean, just speaking from experience, we were having trouble finding a place to go to church, and we came here, and it was organic. It was instant.
Yeah. Same kind of thing for you.
Yeah. I don't think...
And you saw it from a staff perspective, too, for quite a while, too.
Yeah, it's... There's just so much about being here, being a part of this church, but like, get in where you fit in, I don't think ever applies. Here, everyone, their uniqueness is celebrated. And I think that is so awesome. And like, your strengths are celebrated. And if you have a low, we're going to like get down in that low with you and like figure out why it's a low. And there's just, I could go on for hours, but I never thought I would find a church.
So if there's somebody listening to us right now who's thinking, man, I'm disconnected. For whatever reason, I've got family issues. I've got sexual orientation is a factor in my life. If race is a matter, if politics is a matter, anything along the line. Okay. And thinking, is there a place for people with differentiating, different
I think so. Situations? I mean, I always try to stay away from being like political or anything too publicly, but we're a very liberal, open-minded couple. So, that was very important to us. Finding a church that is accepting of the LGBTQ plus community, finding a community that is accepting of kids or adults with like ADHD and things like that. Like, you can't, this is a church where, hey, you might not be comfortable sitting down the entire time. Great. There's tables in the back. That was something that I installed here. That was my idea, was let's put some tables in the back with chairs so it gives more of a sense of community. People might not feel comfortable sitting in the pews. Let's put some chairs and tables in the back so it's more of a sit down and eat something and watch type situation. It's this community and this place is just so open and welcome and warm, excuse me.
It's hard to describe until you feel it. I guess until there's never been any kind of issue of uncomfortability with me or anything. I'm sure there's, people hear that and just, they don't understand, hey, I'm sure everybody says that about their church, blah, blah. It really is just when you're in here, you're just instantly part of it. You're part of the church.
You don't have to dress up. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to wear your Sunday best. We're in jeans and a hoodie. Yes. Actually, I put this on this morning. I had to laugh. This hoodie sat in the lost and found here for like 2 years. And I put it on one day when I was cleaning the church because I was cold. Yeah. And if it's someone out there, please let me know. But I've had
She's got your hoodie.
I have a hoodie.
Going back to that church. She stole my hoodie.
But it's
a great stolen hoodie caper, right?
It was in the lost and found for forever, I promise, guys. But it's just, there's so much to this church.
I want to share something with you, Ash, in particular, that there's a metaphor, in a sense, about doing the tables in the back. I think is really cool. I don't know if I've ever shared with you. You made the tables we have in the back of the sanctuary and a fellowship area are made from doors of the church.
Yes, that was on purpose.
Well, I thought maybe it was, but it's kind of the metaphor for open doors.
Yeah, I told Ross I want to take the old doors and turn them into tables because here at this church we're breaking down the doors to Christ.
There you go.
And we were breaking down the doors that like kept people out of church, people that once felt discluded from from this type of community, not specifically ours, but we were breaking down the doors and giving them a place to sit.
Well, that's an awesome way to think that through with the,
Yeah.
there's the biblical image of knocking the door shall be opened. But I thought maybe you thought that through, but I hadn't really asked you. But I wanted to say that I noticed that. And I think that
I'm pretty intentional.
that's awesome. Well, I've learned that about you. Ashley, you got a lot going on up here. The wheels are always turning. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how. Well, one of the ways the wheels turn here at HeavenEarth Church, it says part of our mission statement, which is on posters around the church, on the website, and so on, says we exist to make a lasting impact on our community.
Mm-hmm.
So similar to the other question, number one, is that true? And if so, how? How is that mission statement lived out?
That is so true. I think it's something that we strive for as a church continuously, and you have to keep striving for, because what is it that you're going to do that is going to make a lasting impact? There's been a lot that I've been through in this church. So many different events and heartaches, triumphs, but to see the work continuously, to see the doors opening every Sunday and new people walking in and knowing like we are making a difference in someone's life, and to see the growth in other people who started at the same time as us, and we're all diving into this church and continually growing. That is the lasting impact of physically in the community, the lasting impact in your heart. I think that if we walked out of this church today and never came back for some unforsaken reason, this church would always be in our hearts. And that the lasting impact is a day-to-day thing. You have to keep showing up every single day, but you make a lasting impact in this church does, and you as a person can continue to do so.
You have any comments on this question here, Steve?
I mean, even just, while she was saying that, I was trying to think of the direct examples of things that this church does that, at Christmas time, us and the boys do the United Way gift delivery.
Oh, yeah.
And that Cooper's at a point now where he looks forward to it at Christmas. We have, they do Recovery Church on Wednesdays. We have the garden that we've done in the past. That's, anytime someone needs produce,
it's there.
Stop by. It's in the cooler. Just grab what you need. Those are the three off the top of my head that are direct examples of us giving back to the community. Of this church doing that.
I just saw something Hyam said that was this year for the United Way. That is something we do. Every year we sign up. We love to do that. I was able to get some of the guys from my work this year to do the United Way deliveries. I work with a handful of young 20-year-old young men. And a truckload of them got to deliver gifts for United Way this year. And when they showed up, one of the presents they had to deliver was a bike. And they showed up to deliver it to the dad. And the dad said, "Can you wait? I want you to actually give this to my son." And they said, No. And he said, "No, I really would like you to actually give this to my son." So my employees got to get out and give the bike to the child for Christmas and actually see the joy on the kid's face. They text me later to let me know that they all drove home crying in their work truck and that they wanted to do this every year now.
Yeah.
And just even that, people who are indirectly related to the church experiencing the joy that we feel when we give back. It's stupendous.
So some contagious kindness, some contagious good things then. And that contagious sort of vibe is what I want to ask you about now. Both of you I've got to know over the last few years have been very engaging, social people. You love people. You're involved here at the church is what I've seen primarily. But I know and I feel very confident that you're act similarly in your other aspects of your life, your kids' school, your friends you hang out with, whatever it would be. Well, let's just say that you've got a friend in your life or a coworker or somebody who's having some real issue. Health, marriage, any number of finances, any number of things are going on. And they have confided in you. I'm just going through this stuff here. And I got a feeling something like this has happened to both of you one time or another. would you feel comfortable in saying, I love to talk to you. I love to be in this conversation with you, but something else that might help would be, checking out HeavenEarth Church. So, Steve, would you be comfortable saying to that person, invite them to church as a part of dealing with their issue?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially with all of the people that are here, of all the experiences that everyone out there has had. If I didn't know exactly who to point them to maybe guide them a little better and guide them a little more specifically, there is somebody out there that could absolutely talk from a direct experience, be able to help them out in whatever they're going through, whether it be Ross or Emily or any number of people. I would have no problem telling them, like, we'll find somebody at this church for you to talk to that's going to help you in the way that you need it.
Actually, I'm pretty confident you got at least somebody in mind, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I've directed someone to join us on Sundays, and oftentimes people are nervous about doing that because church can be uncomfortable. I know maybe not for you, Brad, but for some of us who are not.
No, let me tell you, church can be very uncomfortable for me too.
Church can be uncomfortable walking through those doors. So I try and tell people, like, join us online. I love to share our Sunday message on like Facebook or whatever. Join us online so people can see online. I know I have a couple friends who consider themselves either agnostic or atheist. They have tuned in online because I share, and they love what they see. They always say, if we're going to go to a church one day, we'll go to yours. And in my heart, they're my secret mission. Like, one day they will be here.
Yeah.
But whether it's, trying to get someone to just watch on Sunday mornings and then come in, I've often sent people in for our Wednesday night recovery service as well. I've taken part in recovery church multiple times on Wednesday nights, and that is just an experience that really can reach an untapped yet needed audience.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so whether it's even like a small group like your wife runs, there's always something for someone. There's a place for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's bring us around and kind of conclude this conversation with this, because you mentioned how you pointed some of your friends to online version of the service. And of course, that's what this is all about, for people to get to know you individually and as a married couple a little bit better. But let's just, I'd just like for you to offer a word to someone who may be checking us out here today and just kind of saying, whatever reason, I've stumbled across HeavenEarth Church here online, either on the YouTube or on the audio podcast. So what would you say to that person? Steve, what would you say to that person if they're at least considering checking out HeavenEarth Church?
It's such a big thing sometimes to think about, walking into a new church and, everybody's going to turn around and see me and I'm going to be the new person. Everybody's going to realize it. I have never turned around and looked at somebody when they walk in for the first time and been like, oh, look at the new person. It's more of a, hey, like,
do I know them?
Do I know them, or do they know me? Like,
no point in staring.
Yes. Like, let's make sure like they know somebody. And it's there's no uncomfortability of walking in and that nervousness, and you just have to experience it that first time, and then you will be so much more comfortable in knowing like this can be home. This can be what I needed.
Well, actually, I know you're a person who likes sometimes to get into the last word, so I'm going to give you that opportunity here to kind of have the last word. Again, kind of
call me out, Brad.
Kind of speaking of that person who might be checking us out.
This is the place. This is the place for everyone. It doesn't matter how you feel about church or how you feel about going into a new place. Like, you will be welcome here. You will have a good time, and there's a space for everyone. There's a couch in the back to hide. There's a little play area for little kids. Your child is welcome. You are welcome. No matter who you are, you're welcome here. And no matter your circumstance, your life situation, like, you're welcome here. And there's someone here, if not everyone here, that's going to love you.
Awesome. Well, what a great witness. And I thank you for sharing your time and, opening up your life to our HeavenEarth Church podcast audience. And I want folks to know, if you come to HeavenEarth Church, these are a couple of people couple of the bright and shining faces that you're going to see here often and be a part of that. And so I just want to thank Steve Owens and Ashley Walden-Owens for being our guest here today on the Heaven Earth Church podcast. And you can check us out every Sunday morning here on Main Street in Whiteland, Indiana. The primary conversation, we like to call it, is at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings. We're always available here online at HeavenEarthChurch.org, here on the YouTube channel and on the audio podcast. My name is Brad Miller, the producer of the podcast. Look for us and check us out here at Heaven Earth Church, which is the church where if you don't feel like you fit in church, you will here. Waves
Bye.
and close.